there has been a decline in recent seasons, he actually did play a pretty big role last season with Barcelona. Just looking at this, 36 starts in 40 games, 6 in terms of minutes played, and in terms of games played, 7th as well among the rest of the squad. So I suppose when you do look at that, Shaka, you look at it and you do think, wow, it does seem pretty early.
It does,
this season,
especially when you consider we're only 3 months into this new season. Now, which leads me to wonder how much of this is based around Barcelona's old struggles in terms of going out of the Champions League and losing to Real Madrid. Now, it's one thing to defer his payment, as Sid was pointing out, in an effort to sign new players, and then all the promises of the new players this summer and what you thought or what you hoped Barcelona would be. So now I'm wondering, was Gerard Piqué thinking, I would love to be here for this one season where we regain top billing in Spain, where we are again recognized as one of the really big boys in European football, and that would be the perfect exit for me. But to then see it come crashing down as it did, and to Ali's point, when you get to a certain point in your career, and we've all been there, where you start looking at the pitch, you start looking around, regardless of what position you play, and you start thinking, if I can't get in ahead of these players, then what am I doing here? And then if you thought it was to see the club that you grew up loving regain top spot, and then that's snatched away from you, then all of a sudden it really leaves you feeling a little bit disjointed in terms of, well, what's next? What's next for me? What's next for the football club? And probably thinking, let me see if I can arrange an exit. Let's see how that impacts January and what's to come for the rest of the season and into next. Because otherwise, the timing of it just, you don't see players retiring in the first week of November. It's just not, unless it's due to injury. It's just not done. So you just wonder what is different about this for Gerard Piqué.
And you also don't see players leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
This amount of money on the table. That in itself is a question that Piqué is going to have to answer, and Barcelona is going to have to answer. How do they figure out what the future of Piqué is within the club? Because we assume he's going to have a role in the club at some point.
He did make a video to announce this today. It was put across social media. He did say he would be back as he looked longingly up at the presidential palco. Sid, we'll give you the final word on this and what we've seen from Gerard Piqué today.
Yeah, I think we've all assumed for a very long time that at some point Gerard Piqué will be president of Barcelona. I think we know that he has the intelligence, he has the, if you like, the kind of the political awareness. Of course, he's now the owner of Andorra, who are playing in the second division, so there's a degree of preparing himself there. If indeed that's the case, if indeed he doesn't just end up taking Andorra as far as he can, and perhaps even into the first division. So I think he will be back in some capacity at some point. He will always be connected to the club, but I think now's the time to walk away. And I'm reminded as well, by the way, of something he said around about, I'm trying to think, around about 6 or 7 months ago, I think he said something along the lines of, I don't want to retire on the bench. You know, I want to go out playing, and if I'm on the bench, if I'm not useful, then I will walk away. And I think that's fundamentally what's happened.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.